Hello everybody and welcome back again to the United Stand. It's transfer deadline day. This is Adam Talks, but it has got that transfer twist on it. And obviously we all know the breaking news that has come out of United today. Phil Jones is moving back into midfield. We don't have anything to worry about, everybody. Jokes. As you know, we have guests on all the time on this show. Today again, it's Faz. Faz, talk to me about your day. Transfer deadline day. You're driving around. You're thinking after that press conference this morning, nothing's going to happen, and then bang. Well, Sabitzer.
I woke up, looked at my phone, and I went back to sleep. I was not driving around anywhere because I didn't think we were going to be in for anyone. And obviously, you went to the presser, and there was a little bit of talk that we're not going to be in for anyone. There's no news from any other top journalists. I'm thinking, yeah, it's just another day. Fred will tear you apart. That's the song we're going to be singing. And then 5-10 minutes later, boom, in comes Marcel Sabitzer. And I have a little bit of smile on my face because I'm just a bit excited to have a player that could do a decent job for us in the second half of the season.
That's it, a quality player at that. We are going to be talking about everything else that's going on at the club as well, as we always do on this show. We're talking about Sancho and Martial coming back. And then when you break it all down, Faz, from the depths of despair this morning to thinking, right, Martial and Sancho are going to be back, because Ten Hag didn't mention that in the press conference. This happened later on for MUTV, because all anybody was interested in the press conference was the breaking news that Christian Eriksen is going to be out for over 3 months. No signings are coming in. Is the season going to end up being a disaster now? Is it just going to go downhill? So all of a sudden, it started to perk itself up, and then you're looking at the game tomorrow night and you're like, oh, hang on, this is like, I'm a bit more excited now. Obviously, we are going to keep you up to date with everything that goes on. If anything breaks while we're on the show, we will bring you that in terms of transfers, updates on Sabitzer and anything else. Even our opposition updates, because it is deadline day. Chelsea look like Fernandes is going to get done. Enzo is apparently having his medical. United have stolen and took Sabitzer. Let's talk United, let's talk Sabitzer. What is he bringing to Manchester United? Why has Ten Hag made this happen?
I think for the way you analyse this player, he's somewhat in between an Eriksen and a Fred. He's physically, he's great. He's really good when it comes to finding passes from deep. His vision is really good. One of the most important things is his both feet is really good, left side and right side. On top of that, he's great with set pieces as well. These are all positive things to add to the team. If you bring in a Fred into this squad, right, you have to think, can Fred give you the passes from deep that an Eriksen could? Could Fred find the assist that Eriksen did? The answer is not really. But then if you now swap it with McTominay, for example, you think, okay, McTominay could do a job defensively at times, but then going forward, could he give you the job? No. Now Eriksen is injured. You bring in someone like Sabitzer, who's had success in Bayern Munich. We've played him before as well, I think in the Champions League. When he was in Leipzig, he done well there. He's like an overall package. He's not the best player in the world in that position, sure. But for the time being, in a loan option, he's a really, really good option, if you ask me. And I think most importantly, I want Ten Hag to now go and tackle, you know, the likes of Barcelona, and then tackle this league as well to try and secure our maybe a third and maybe push for a second with someone like him. And if and when Eriksen comes back, I think it still brings in competition for the position, which is very good as well.
That's it, mate. You could be looking at a running right at the end of the season with Eriksen coming back into this team. I mean, I couldn't believe the stat when it came out that Christian Eriksen has played more games than any other United player this season. For a man that was brought in on loan for nothing, it was brought in for nothing on a free transfer, and everyone debating whether or not we're going to use him enough, where we're going to play him, what part, he's going to be a bit part player. To be such a key man, this injury could not go without being rectified in the January transfer window. It had to be sorted. 3 months is too much. And I don't know about you, I feel like the club were forced into this move and had to start thinking. But it just goes to show, when your hand is forced, how you can make things happen. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a full-on international that's on the books at Bayern Munich, who are competing for everything.
Who don't always get transfers wrong.
No, exactly that. He's come through the Red Bull system, through Salzburg, from Austria into Leipzig in Germany, like many good quality players do in the Bundesliga. You always see them taking this route through the Red Bull sort of it's like a conveyor belt, isn't it? Just producing these unknown players. But you're looking at a player there that hasn't played too many games, still played quite a lot for Bayern, but he's got, we discussed on a transfer show earlier, he's got Goretzka in front of him, Kimmich. And Ricky said to me earlier on, as you know, he's a big advocate of this type of player. He's buzzing for this deal, by the way. He can't wait. But like Ricky said, Manchester City have got an abundance of midfielders. They can't all play. Yeah. So him being second to Goretzka and Kimmich is it's no bad thing. Yeah. And we're taking this player now, and he wants to come to Manchester United. He sees what Erik ten Hag is doing, and that is the positive in all of this. These types of players now want to come and play under Ten Hag in this system and what Ten Hag is building. Yeah, and if you look at how he will come in and add to this side as well, you have to think, you know, where do the other players come in? For example, now I'm thinking Rashford was getting a lot of goals, but now imagine the service Wout can get as well. Imagine the service that when Casemiro wins the ball in for us in our half, or when a Martinez or a Varane is trying to find a pass into midfield, you've got a player who's press resistant and he can receive the ball, half turn, and then he's able to find players on the run as well. And he's got a great pass. On top of that, the most important thing for me, one of the most important things anyways, is set piece. I want goals from set pieces. I want goals from free kicks. I want goals from corner kicks. You can pick up a bunch of goals from these type of phases of scenario, and we don't. We're not really good at corner kicks. Anthony had an atrocious corner kick last game. I don't want to see him on the corner flag ever again like that. That pained you to say that, didn't it? Because you love Anthony. I love Anthony a lot. So yeah, coming from me, I do criticize my favourite players. But now we have a player who can cross the ball in well, who's good at taking free kicks. I want to see goals coming from that side of play as well. And the most important thing for me is he can also carry the ball, you know. One thing that Eriksen couldn't do, it almost like just collect, give, collect, give. Now we have a player who can collect, and if there's acres of space, he will make the moves to go forward. And that's how you're going to bring in the likes of Val, Anthony, Rashford into play. And now Martial and Sancho as well. That's it. I am just checking on all the news going forward, guys. Any updates we will bring you as well as we go. Super chat in from Viangam. I think I've said that right. Sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. But I believe the Glazers already know they are selling and how much they are receiving for it. So they don't want to spend a penny more. I mean, I said it before this transfer window actually opens that Manchester United would not spend a penny. Yeah, they've done some loan fees, but this is off the back of a very good first half of the season from Ten Hag, and I think they were forced into it. We weren't going to get any Chelsea-style signings or what Arsenal have done, significant long-term signings. Or even Leeds. Yeah, this is it. I mean, a lot of teams have spent an awful lot of money in January, a record window I think this is going to be, mainly down to Chelsea. Yeah. But Manchester United, when you break it down, we have done some crafty, very, very good deals in this market. With these two players, Wout Weghorst, obviously, we know what he brings as an option. I want to talk to you about Sabitzer in terms of this loan deal. Would you be happy if we looked at possibly a buy option at the end of this? Or, like we discussed earlier in the show, and I want to get everyone else's opinion on this in the chat as well. If it works out well, is this the type of player we can have in our squad going forward? Because we're all hoping we're going to have Champions League next season. Could we bring Sabitzer in permanent and bring another midfielder in? I think so. I think most important thing is if we keep a player like him in our squad, we have to let a McTominay go. We have to let a Fred or someone go. Someone has to go to make space. It's to be McTominay, isn't it? Yeah, ideally it could be McTominay, but if he stays, I'm not going to be unhappy about it. He's got winning pedigree. He's got Champions League pedigree. He's 28 years old. He's well polished. So yeah, it's a win-win situation. And if we go and get an upper echelon young midfielder that could also compete for a position, and you can then have a player like Sabitzer in your bench as coming in and rotating. If you're in 4 competitions, season in, season out, the player's going to see minutes, and nobody's going to be complaining when you're in a winning format as well. Everybody's going to be wanting to stay in that squad. So I think I would be more than happy to keep a player like that, yeah. Yeah, a few chats coming in there. Any stock in Kamada mentions? No. Sabitzer loan to buy would be ideal. I can see the benefit of it. I think what most people are worried about is the fact that it takes away the plans in the summer, like you said, but the rumour for the price, I think that would come down. It's at around about 50 million euros now. I think we can get a better deal out of that. I think we have got room to bring in that young up-and-coming midfielder who would then be coming into a midfield with Casemiro or Bruno and Eriksen, Sabitzer. This opens up that role model sort of scope for a young player coming through. Who is your ideal midfielder on top of that, though? Because there are a few names. Obviously, it looks like Enzo is off the cards now. Chelsea look like they are getting that deal done. But what type of midfielder? Who is your midfielder that you would bring in?
For me, I've still on Frankie de Jong.
I'll
be very honest.
We touched on that before. Yeah, 25.
It has to be. It has to be, because in the system that we want to play, the player that he is, and I know the sentiment is around we weren't successful in getting him, but the fact is he would add so much to this squad, and he would take the squad to a different level, and especially to the level that we want to be, which is Champions League. We want to be competing in Champions League semi-finals, finals, 4 competitions every season. And that's the type of player you need in this squad to get you goals, assists, ball carrying, shoulder dropping midfielder. Yeah, I'm still with Frankie de Jong. I would have said Enzo, but obviously he's gone. Caicedo's another one. He's still
yeah. No,
still
teams
there.
come to the table in the summer. It all changes. It all changes.
Yeah.
Red Devil Ronnie says Conor Gallagher, CM upset Chelsea, Everton linked. Well, we've been told that Chelsea are keeping Conor Gallagher now. We talked about that on the show before. But Manchester United definitely come to the table when other players like Caicedo, like you said, are available in the summer, which he will be. Obviously, you've got Declan Rice as well to add to that.
I'm all right. I'm okay.
You're good with?
I don't want Declan Rice. Far away. Very, very far away. They tried to scam us with that 120 million price.
Not that price.
No,
the price tag's a different ball game.
Yeah.
It's like Harry Kane debate.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
If it goes to a certain level, you just say, nah, see you later, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But obviously, if the price is right and you come down and you obviously look at it in a different way, I think United will do that. I think what's positive with United at the moment is the fact that we look like we're being a bit more savvy in the market.
Yes.
In the way we look at things. All of a sudden, no one picked out Sabitzer. Does Ten Hag deserve a little bit of credit for actually finding this player that no one else thought about? Because until today, no one was even thinking Sabitzer.
Yeah, absolutely not. I was thinking about Korku from Feyenoord. I was thinking about Enzo Lifi. These other cheaper options. Even Fabio from Juventus, the 19-year-old. But then in comes Sabitzer, who's a very well-polished, player. We were in actually for Gravenberg, let's be honest, right? But then the phone rang, they said no, but then probably a conversation took place where they said, actually, we've got this option. And Ten Hag has probably said, you know what, yeah, let's go for it. And you have to understand as a manager, how can he now implement this player? That's the most important thing, because he's going to have to play week in, week out when he comes in. I don't think Fred will be starting over him in the next few games. I think he will be starting over Fred. So I think it's credit to him for identifying 100%. And you know what? It's a bit of a weird one. Merto and Arnold are doing, with the ownership that we have, they're doing some savvy business. You just have to say it as is. They're doing some savvy business.
That's it. Super chat in from W. Day Barnett says, only reason we missed out on Frankie was Champions League. We have a clear run with Liverpool and Chelsea missing out on Champions League. I mean, in terms of that and what Chelsea have done, can you see them making a bit of a late charge for top 4?
Absolutely not.
I'm glad you said that.
I don't know what Chelsea are going to do next year, midweek. I'm thinking they'll be watching Love Island or something, but they won't be, or they might be watching us play Champions League. But I don't think they're going to be doing anything, in all honesty. No, absolutely not.
No, so as it is at the moment, I think we're all going to be disappointed if we don't make top 4 and we don't win a trophy right now, because the way we're going and adding quality to it, and then like you said earlier on, it's like when Eriksen comes back, that could be just that little bit of a boost, just in the running when we need it, like the back end of April, going into squeaky bum time in May, that little bit of quality off the bench. Could be everything that gets us. It could be the difference from getting that trophy, making top 4, not making top 4. That is something to look forward to. And the likes of Martial and Sancho coming back, which we're going to talk about soon, I think that would just give us that little bit extra. A few more options Doesn't look like anyone else is leaving. A few of the younger players have left.
Yep.
I know you're a big lover and watch a lot of the under-21s.
Yep.
So we've lost Savage, or not lost, we've sent Savage out,
Yep.
McNeil's gone out, and obviously your man's gone today as well to Portsmouth. So we're looking at 3 players leaving. Can you see anyone else going out?
The goalkeeper's gone as well. Matney,
Yes,
I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Deshaun's, I was supposed to say his name before. Deshaun's left for Portsmouth, by the way.
I really like that goalkeeper, so I'm keeping a close eye on him. But
that's good that he has gone out on loan.
Yeah,
that's very good. That's where you want your keeper going.
I do appreciate, we're making an active effort of loaning these players out and getting them developed. I see when I go to the under-21s game, I actually see Van der Gaag a couple of times as well, keeping a close eye on the players. So that's a good thing, keeping.
There is a Lamborghini parked outside.
The famous Lambo. The famous Lambo. I'm glad they're going to go and get their minutes and get developed. And hopefully the plan is develop, send them on loan, but then send them on loan with a plan of how to develop them and then bring them back. I do want to see that. But yeah, I'm glad. Shola Shoretira as well, gone to Bolton. So yeah, that's another player I'll be keeping an eye on. So it's good.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, before we do move on to Sancho and Martial and looking ahead towards Nottingham Forest game, we just want to do a bit of a breakdown of what is happening. Obviously, the news was broken before. Fabrizio Romano was talking about the Sabitzer deal. That's when it broke. Sky Sports has broke it, saying the same thing. Manchester United have turned their attention to Sabitzer. We are talking, we was supposedly in with Chelsea, but Chelsea do now look like they are going with Enzo Fernandez, and United are going full on, only team in for Sabitzer, which gives me confidence that we are going to be making this deal happen. I'm pretty confident that's going to happen now. The tweet there from Romano. Discussions are ongoing for this deal. Manchester United are in Germany talking about it now. Obviously, we had Samuel Lucas come on from the MEN and say that Manchester United are very confident they can get this deal done. It came to a surprise to all of us because all these people were in, apart from Romano, he wasn't in the press conference, but all the major journalists were there at the press conference. No one's seen this coming, all of a sudden, bang.
Yeah.
Everyone's reporting on it, and it went from a 2-hour spell of not thinking that anything's going on to United pretty much getting this deal done and dusted over the line tonight and be available for us to play against Crystal Palace at weekends. That would be some move from United, because we don't move very quickly in the market, do we? And like everyone said in these tweets coming up on our screen now, and everyone who was reporting it, was surprised at how quickly Manchester United made this happen. Do you feel, because I do, I believe that this was already in motion last night for Sabitzer not to be at training this morning and everything moving so quickly. I do believe that this wasn't just today and the split decision just this lunchtime. I think this was made and was put in motion probably last night.
I'll be honest, one thing that I must say, right, and I'm not going to beat around the bush, but it shouldn't have taken an injury for us to be in a market to get a player like Sabitzer. That's the moral of the story, right? Eriksen came out in crutches, and that's probably when Ten Hag is scratching his head and thinking, right, what am I going to do now? This is very much unexpected. Already the market is so far in, we've not spoken to anyone. But that's exactly what Manchester United, or a proper ran organisation, would have done, is had a player ready to be looking into the market. When everybody's been in the market active, Bournemouth, Leeds, all of these other teams have been active, the top 6 teams have been active, yet we were waiting until an injury hit. And you know what, frankly, I'll be honest with you, Adam, we're lucky that Eriksen, as bad as it sounds, got injured whilst within the market. Because if that happened after the market was closed, what would we have done then?
We couldn't have done anything.
We couldn't have done anything. So I'm still glad that we're in for a player and getting a very good quality player, but this should have been ironed out well before.
This is a player that we should have brought in with Eriksen still fit.
Yes, 100%.
But this has only happened because Eriksen. This is a panic. There's some people saying this is a panic buy in the comment section there. Some people saying, Umar says there, never seen him play. What type of midfielder is he? He's a bit of a cross between, you saying before.
Yeah, a bit of a cross between Eriksen and Fred. He's not going to be a like clanging and banging physical midfielder, but then he's not going to be the ball carrying upper echelon midfielder like Frankie de Jong. What you're going to get is both feet. He's going to be able to play balls from deep with both feet. He's going to carry the ball well. He's also able to find very acute passes that you see the likes of Fred trying to make, with back heels and stuff.
Comments saying that solid passer with the ball.
Yeah, solid passer with the ball. free kicks is a good thing as well. He's got a good eye for free kick, and most importantly, he can put a good ball into the box from corner kicks as well. Like I keep saying, that 6'6", Wout, Weghorst, Workhorst, Weg can press, whatever it is, we need to be utilising him.
Marcel Sabitzer has held talks with MUFC through his agents. He'd like to know what he's happy to join the club and Erik ten Hag's project. That was another tweet that was sent out by Romano there. It's at the bottom of your screen, everybody. But yeah, I mean, before we do move on, I just wanted to touch on the versatility of Sabitzer. People wanting to know what type of midfielder is. He played in 8 different positions last season.
Yep.
Left back, left wing, right back, right wing. Both central midfield roles, even a forward attacking midfielder.
CF, he's played CF
so
as well. Yeah.
You can see exactly why Ten Hag would bring in a short-term deal, like 6 months. You've got a player there that can cover all over the pitch and help out everywhere. I mean, how no one else has thought of this deal, again, it goes back to Ten Hag's thinking, like, I need a player. Who can we bring in? It's like draft day in the NFL.
Draft day,
Who can we use? What sort of position can we use here? Who do we need? Well, there's a guy that can play a multitude of positions. I'm not one, I've said this before, for a jack-of-all-trade player. I prefer masters of their own, but I understand as well that beggars can't be choosers right now on the last day of the window, and United seem to be getting a very good deal. And some people in the comments are still saying, what savvy deals, what have we done that's good? I think for the ownership model and everything that's going on right now and what's happening with the Glazers, I don't think we've done too bad.
No, we haven't, because Malacia was a good deal. Malacia was a here we go to a different club, and we ended up hijacking it. Ericsson was a good deal. Casemiro is probably one of the best deals. Martinez was half price, if you ask me now, the way he's performing. And on top of it now, we've gone and identified a player. Let's be honest, he's not. Remember when we played Palace and it was Wilfried Zaha versus Ericsson, and everybody was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? You're not going to have that with Sabitzer. He has legs. He can run. He's been go and check his game against Dortmund when he had to mark Sancho at times, and he did a very good job. He can deal with techie players as well, and that's the most important thing. One thing we don't want to criticise, but we have to, is Ericsson's defensive attributes isn't the best. No. Let's be honest. He's so slow in defensive when it comes to tracking back. If he loses the ball, it's like he's caught in the middle of nowhere and he doesn't know what to do. Whereas with Sabitzer, you're not going to have that. He's press resistant, and if he does end up losing the ball, he's most definitely going to be able to catch up to the player as well.
Exactly, that's what he brings. I said it before in terms of maybe putting Bruno out on the right wing. You don't have to now. No. You could bring Sabitzer in, and against better teams, you can do like we did against City and tuck in out of possession and make more of a solid defensive unit from midfield. I think he ticks a lot of boxes in different ways you want to play. I think he's adaptable to different systems, and that's why I think it's actually, the more you look at it, it's just turns into more of a bonus that we're actually getting this player. And for me, I see it as a win-win right now.
Why would you not like a player that plays in numerous positions? I mean, Luke Shaw went from left back to playing centre back for us at times. You saw Casemiro doing a job at centre back as well. We were all praising them. So why not be happy with a player that can play numerous positions? I'm happy.
I've got a player. This is an interactive show. Get your questions in as well, guys. I've got a question here in a super chat from Billy Smith. Cheers for this, Billy. I'm going to come to you with this one, Faz. Sure. Why can't Fred start? He has been playing well this season off the bench. That kind of answers the question. But, and then Ten Hag said Fred is Casemiro's favourite to play with. Let the new signing adjust off the bench. Oh, that's a bit of a shout, but I can see where Billy's coming from there. I understand the connection with Casemiro, but Fred's best football has been off the bench. Yeah. It seems to be that energy is very effective, isn't it, when he's off the bench later on in games?
Yeah, I want to be able to utilise the best thing that the play. You know, if you put in a Fred now in starting and he doesn't have a good game, that declines all the confidence that he's built just from coming off the bench. And that energy he brings, we keep saying game in, game out in second half of games, we need legs, bring legs into the game. You don't want a tired Fred. It's not going to be of that much output. His most output is when he's energetic, he's in and around the box, he's next to Casemiro, he's behind Bruno, and he's getting his either goal or an assist or a pre-assist, for example. But the fact is, Fred is going to start the next few games because, of course, Sabitzer has to adjust a little bit with the team and etc. But if you go quality to quality, player for player, you can't deny that Sabitzer is a better player than Fred. You can't. Nobody can sit here and tell me that they think Fred is a better player than Sabitzer. So from player to player and what you're going to get on the pitch, you're going to get more from a Sabitzer, let's be honest. And then Fred can come in and see the game out in second half of certain games. That's how it's supposed to be. Fred is going to start, let's say, against the Palace and etc., rightly so. But that doesn't mean Fred is going to start for the next until April and May and etc. I don't see that happening.
Well over 11,000 in the room with us watching, guys. Do give the video a like as well. The more likes you get, the more chance you've got of getting Sabitzer signed, sealed and delivered. It's proven before. We've done this before. If you like the video, it works. Trust me, people, on this one. Another super chat in from Ethan Johnson says, even signing Sabitzer, we still need another midfielder. Is that true? Would you say we need another midfielder still? I mean, right now, it's hard because of where we are in the window. I understand that comment maybe at the start of the window, but I look at it and I look at it realistically with the ownership, like we said. Are the Glazers going to spend the right amount of money? I think we've done well with the Glazers in the situation they are and them shutting up the bank, basically, and just trying to take what they can out of it. They're winding the business up and you tend not to spend a lot of money. But to get someone of the quality of Sabitzer, I think we've done well. But in the summer, like we said, if we keep Sabitzer and buy another midfielder, would that be answering that question, you think?
Yeah, it would. Listen, a squad is never complete to a manager. There's always improvements you can bring in.
Very true.
It's never, ever complete. If you ask me, I would like someone that could help rotate the Bruno position a bit more. Bruno plays a lot of games as well. And luckily, thankfully, he doesn't get injured, which is great. But again, there should be another player in that position, giving him some rotation. But I don't think it's happening in this window, and we're lucky that we even get Sabitzer, let alone another player. Yeah,
the comments today are really good. The questions are really good, actually. Darren Millennium with another super chat. Cheers for that, Darren. This is going in on what you said earlier with Murto. You praised Murto and Arnold for what they've done. I've just had a message off Graham actually saying, well done, Faz, for actually praising Murto and Arnold. But Darren Millennium goes the other way. If we had a director of football instead of the two doing the transfers now, we would have more and better players coming in. This is where I have to sort of go with Faz on this one a little bit, because let's not forget Murto and Arnold have only just come in and are dealing with the aftermath of Ed Woodward.
Yeah.
I think Ed Woodward is the one that has put us in this position where we are now. If you look at the signings that Murto and Arnold have overseen, I don't think there's many fans complaining, because in that you have a Sancho, a Varane, a Ronaldo. Then you're looking at what we've done this summer. Then you're looking at what we've managed to scrape out of this window now. If they were in charge instead of Woodward 5 years ago, maybe we wouldn't be in such a bad position.
Yeah,
I do believe the structure still needs to be changed and made more solid, but I don't think, and I'm not just saying they're getting off the hook here, but Arnold and Murto haven't done ridiculously bad in what they have done so far in their positions with the mess that they had to deal with.
That's right. That's the most important thing is you have to understand chain of command. Above Arnold and Murto are the owners who end up equipping them with the funds to go and do what they need to do to satisfy Ten Hag. You have a person, and this is not me, by the way, crediting Murto and Arnold. This is just me saying what I'm seeing. You have an individual who has to please his boss, and he also has to please his right-hand man, which is Ten Hag. He has to make the organisation tick as well. On top of that, he's got the fans to think about. You know, what does the fans want? What does the club want?
Oh, you know what Arnold's like with the fans. He likes the old pints, you know. He has a little chat at the pub.
So, you know, and the owners are not going to bring out a load of cash from their pocket and say, here you go. What does your manager want? Here's the money. Go and get him what he wants. That's not going to happen. It's not a Todd Bowley situation with this guy, right? If you ask me, the mistakes that have happened is we overspent, and whether that you want to pin Murto and Arnold for that, you want to pin the Glazers, you want to pin whoever, but you can't cry over spilled milk. We've ended up getting, the factor is, we got Ten Hag's guy. One of them at least, if you ask me, which is Anthony. The rest of them, sure, as well. We didn't end up getting Frankie de Jong, but all is not lost. Let's be honest. We weren't going to go in.
I would put in that category. Yeah. I think he wanted Martinez.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, but I'm saying in terms of Frankie de Jong didn't come in. He got his players. All is not lost. If Frankie de Jong came in, were you guys going to say that we're going to go in a title charge? No, nobody was going to say that, right? So you can't just pin everything on Murto and Arnold. And this is, again, not me giving credit. I'm just saying the whole organisation, except for the Glazers, they've done well as to what you're sitting fourth. Domestic, you're going Wembley twice possibly. You've got Barcelona to play and possibly Budapest coming as well, a trip. So why are you guys going to be sat here saying they haven't done a good job? If you ask me, they have done a decent job.
That's it. A few super chats again. Alien Tenor says, big up Adam and Faz, see you tomorrow outside Old Trafford. Yes, you will.
See you.
You will, Alien, mate. Ed4476 says, could United go for Isco since Union won't sign him now and he's free? We had this discussion on the previous show. I'd have shut it down completely. There's a reason why Isco is doing the rounds at the moment, and it's a reason we don't need in our team. Like I said, I'm no expert on it, but looking at it from the outside, it's one we could probably just sidestep a little bit on that one. I'll get your opinion on anything that in a minute, Faz. I'm just going to read through these.
Sure.
Sabitzer is 100% staying longer than a 6-month loan. If he said he wants to be part of the project, he's definitely going to be made permanent. Interesting. And then one more from Desmond says, Arnold and Murto, although the signings are good, they messed up on the price and also still take too long. Another super chat just coming in from Moses says, we need to remember that Ericsson is still our player. Some of our fans are already declaring Sabitzer better than him. Let's see him play for us first. It's different pressure, remember, Dubravka. Well...
Yeah, it's a different levels we're talking about.
Yeah, there's a few different elements there that don't work out. Let me just read a few more of these, then we'll get into it. Right then, who is it to blame for the miserable last season? This season is all on Erik ten Hag and the players. We paid ridiculous prices because of incompetence. I don't know what you mean by to blame for last season. That was down to a lot of player power and mismanagement, in my opinion. I do agree that if they were in charge of bringing Ranić in, you could probably say that they could be held accountable for that, would you say?
Yeah. Listen, everybody had a part to play in the downfall of last year. You can't just pin one man. It was the players, it was the organisation, it was the way we had caretaker manager take over, character over, and then left, and etc. Ragnick, it's a mixture. And you know what? Frankly, I control or deleted last season. I don't want to think about it. Yep. We're in a new era, we're in a new phase, and I much rather think about future.
Yeah, that's it. Exit game is last season's. That's the one. First ever super chat in from Connor Kidd. Cheers for that, buddy. Don't forget the round trip round Europe in the summer to come back empty-handed. We should have seen these issues and got bodies in sooner. The transfer window was a bit of a melee early doors. Let's not kid ourselves. We could have got a lot more in the doors for Erik ten Hag to prepare for the start of the season better. Luckily, he adapted very quickly to that poor start. We've seen against Liverpool after the Brighton and Brentford games, mate. But Connor is right there. We could have done a lot. We could have been a bit more proactive early doors and got that team settled sooner. But I think that's probably one downfall. Unlike the other super chat says, they are a bit slow in getting deals done, whereas other clubs seem to move a lot quicker. Is that right?
100%. I mean, when I remember we were quoted 110, 120 million for Martinez and Anthony in a joint combined deal because they're coming from the same club, right? We dilly-dallied about with Frankie de Jong, whatever, got in Casemiro, but it's just, the price just kept going up as the weeks went by, as we didn't end up getting them. If we went in early, you could have got an Anthony for a 50-odd million, a Martinez for a 50-odd million, because the price was there. All the big journalists said, this is the set price. IXF said, come and take your man. Bayern Munich went in, got their guy, see you later, done. Bish, bash, bosh. Why don't we do it? Why did we not put pre-agreements in place?
That's my big thing.
Always the situation.
Pre-contract agreements in place. When the summer comes around, you're less stressful. There was a time we did it. I think we did it with Memphis Depay, actually, when we first signed him. The deal was done in the middle of the season, or towards the back end of the season, and by the time pre-season came around, he was already walking through the door.
Chelsea are doing it now.
Oh, yeah, in a big way. In a big way. Joshua Khan in the super chat says, don't praise Richard Arnold, John Murto. They don't have a choice because of Ericsson. They openly said they don't want to do business in January. I mean, they're strangled a little bit by the powers that be, which are the Glazers and the situation. I'm not letting them completely off the hook. I'm just saying, look, I think we've done well to get what we've got. I didn't expect anyone. So from my own personal look on things, to have two new faces in the door, I'm actually over the moon with, because I didn't think anything would get done.
You're asking two people who haven't run an organisation of this size before to run an organisation like this based on what we've just had last season. And you've got a manager who said, I am not signing for Manchester United unless you give me the keys to everything. Remember? Ten Hag said, give me the keys to transfers, I'll come. Give me the keys to X, Y, and Z. I want full control. Ten Hag got full control. He's then identified his list. And these two gentlemen tried to do what they could with the owners that they have above them. It's as simple as that. Whether the deal was slow, whether whatever it is, it's transfers. These things will happen. But at least they got us. Name me one signing that went bad. None. And name me 2-3 signings that you could have had that could have got us to challenging for the title. Let's be honest here. So what they gave us, I'm still going to be happy with. They got Ten Hag's guys.
That's it, they did. And so far, every single one of them signings has contributed to our season very much. They have been our best players, really, besides Rashford, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dalot as well.
Yep, Dalot, very good.
Bissaka,
a lot of players have
great.
improved under him. A lot of players. Super chat, one from Mustafa says, I was on a long flight. Have we signed players? We are about to sign, if you read the stories that are on social media and the main broadcasting outlets, that we are in for Marcel Sabitzer from Bayern Munich on a 6-month loan. That deal is still being negotiated. United representatives are in Germany talking through a deal. Whether or not that will have any form of buy option at the end of it, we will wait and see. Hopefully by 11 o'clock tonight, Mark will obviously be rounding up everything that has happened. This deal needs to get done very quickly. We only have a few hours left. So we'll keep you updated with the pop-ups at the bottom of this screen as well as we go forward in this show. I do want to talk about something else that Ten Hag said and mentioned, which is obviously Martial and Jadon Sancho now have been added to the matchday squad and are both available for tomorrow's game. Are you playing both of them to give them game time tomorrow, or are you not risking it again simply with Martial, simply because we have so many games coming up and we need every single player? Or can you just not even think like that? If he needs to get match sharpness, he needs to play.
They have to play. There's no two ways about it. I'm surprised Sancho wasn't back last game.
I was, yes.
Against Reading. But let's be honest, they have to play. They need fitness. We need them ASAP. We need them ready and sharp. There's a lot of games coming. On top of that, now FA Cup at home as well. They must play. Start them 45 minutes in the second half, whatever way you want to do it. I need them ready ASAP. All soldiers on deck, basically.
That's it. Reading through here, some people are saying we're signing 2 rejects this window in Weghorst and Sabitzer. I wouldn't go that far. That's a negative vibe. That is. I mean,
but that person who commented, technically we signed a decline in Casemiro. Look what that happened. That turned out to be one of the best signings that we've made in a long time. Eredivisie player ended up with the shortest centre back and all of this stuff that they were saying he can't do this, he can't do that. He's absolutely dominating centre back position. A hijack deal, 15 million Malacia, was supposed to be facing Salah, who was going to absolutely chew him and spit him out, and look what happened there as well. So, if you ask me, we're on a high. I think you should be a bit more happier.
That is it. I mean, in terms of Jadon Sancho going forward now, the pressure is obviously going to be on him to perform. Obviously, having so much time off, he's been well protected and well looked after by the football club. We can't really say anything other than that. I think whatever issues he's had off the pitch, they've kept private, which is how a club, especially the size of United, should be. We just all pray now that we get back the Jadon Sancho that we all thought we were signing in the first place. Yeah. A man who can deliver a ball into the box, a man who has got that little bit of extra zest on the wing that can do something different to every other player that we've got. We need this man back in our team in a way, and we need the Sancho that we thought we were buying in the first place.
We do. I'm going to give him a good run of games to just see what he's been working on. Obviously, Ten Hag gave him a specific plan. Most important thing for me is I believe in his ability. There's no doubt about it. I know there's talent. I know there's ability. We know what he can do on the ball. One of my first things I'm going to want to see is fitness. Can he last a full 90 minutes? I'm going to wait to see that. And after that, what I want to see is, he started the season well. Goals and assists were coming. Hopefully, he can add to that. Now he has, a proper striker, as they want to call it, about Weghorst. He's our proper striker anyways. Sancho's played with Haaland before, and you've seen, the damage he can do. So now he has a player. I'm not saying Wout Weghorst is a Haaland, sure, but he has a focal point striker now, and he has competition for that right-hand side. Will that motivate him and push him to deliver the results that we want from him and the player that we signed? It is, for me, 2 seasons in, it is time. There's no more settling in time, if you ask me. The club has done fantastic in terms of dealing with the situation that he's been in, but the second half of the season, especially Europa, we need a player like him, and he needs to show what he can do. Because if he doesn't, a tough conversation needs to be had in the summer.
That is it. Martial, this is it for him, for me.
Oh,
this right now for Martial is, this is do or die. But then I start thinking about it in depth and going, even if Martial does struggle now like he has most of this season towards the back end of the season as well, I don't see anyone else coming in for him. He's got another 3 years left on his current contract, and is anyone going to take him away? I don't want to say we're stuck with Martial, because I still believe that we have got a player there, but I don't believe that Martial is confident enough to play to his maximum ability anymore because of his injuries. That's how I feel. That's how I look at Martial and how I see him playing. And I think Ten Hag wants to, because he sees that ability, but he's scared. He's even said himself, Ten Hag, I can't play Martial for 90 minutes because I'm scared he's going to get injured. That you cannot go forward like that. But I think with Manchester United right now and the lack of numbers we've had, I think we've been forced to play Martial more than what we wanted to as well.
Yeah. I think if Ten Hag manages to manoeuvre his way through this season whilst keeping him as fit as he can and showing his ability, I'm sure a club will come in and scoop him up. It has to. If he's on the market, someone will. The PR around him isn't great as well. His lonely club Sevilla also came out and said he wasn't their favourite. So it doesn't help him. And obviously this season, you could say, right, every player is adding value. Even Harry Maguire is winning games after he's starting, right? Every player, Lindelof, Bissaka, everybody's adding value. Except for Martial. He's not adding no value to his name. So I want him for Ten Hag especially, to manage this guy well enough, see the season out. Hopefully he doesn't get injured, and then hopefully someone comes in and buys him and we list him on. But we cannot, at any cost, if we're a serious organisation, keep this guy next season. I cannot see that.
No, this is the problem, isn't it, that we've got to a stage where these big contracts that these players we're getting are just going to see them through. I mean, we're talking, and I was joking about Phil Jones at the start of this show, but Eric Ten Hag has come out and said that Phil Jones has been unable to complete one full training session this season. It's drastic. You can see, I'm not saying Martial he's going to get that bug and go down the same road. I really hope not, because I think there is a lot more talent there. But for me, I'm like you, I'm worried about Martial, and I'm worried how the club are going to deal with it, whether they're going to cut ties in the summer or not. It's sad, and it's a sad way for it to end with Martial, but honestly, the club, I do think, have to make a decision. But then, like I said, it's counteracted by who is going to agree to that decision and where is he going to go. That's
whatever you could do, loan him with a buy option, make space for another person, because hopefully we have new owners by that point, and then we're looking at someone serious in our number 9 role, which is like Osimhen, Vlahovic, all of these other players, Gonçalo Ramos. But, Manchester United front line in the Champions League, Adam, cannot be led by Anthony Martial at any cost. If that happens, I think I'm going to have a nervous breakdown.
Super chat in from Darren Mulaney again. Cheers, buddy. What is the news on Dalot? Ten Hag didn't touch on Dalot's injury news or any update on that. I don't think he's ready to go. He would have come into the same conversation that Martial and Sancho did, to be fair. But looking ahead to the game and to all the negative people in the chat, we don't care. Honestly, don't care. Okay, we have got some updates. Sorry, I was just talking to you. I was getting someone talking in my ear. It happens. But
it's deadline day. That's what's going to happen.
Sky Sports or Sky Sports Germany are reporting that Sabitzer is now at Munich Airport. Woohoo. So look into that, what you will. But that does, for me, tell me that Sabitzer is boarding a plane to Manchester.
Yep.
I can't see that plane going to London, to Chelsea, or anywhere else right now. I think Sabitzer is on a plane. I'm sure you will be getting images of that on your phone soon. So yeah, that is the update on Sabitzer, and it does look like we have progressed even more this afternoon to a stage where he's on a plane heading for the UK, and I can now see this in plenty of time before 11 o'clock getting wrapped up. That's pretty much it, would you say, on a plane?
Yeah,
ready
yeah,
to
if
go?
you're on a plane, yeah, that's it. And their transfer window closed a few hours earlier as well. But that's for incoming, that's not for outgoing. But we want to get it wrapped up ASAP.
That is it. Tomorrow night, Nottingham Forest, Faz.
Yeah.
What are we saying? Are we taking no chances, no risks, playing quite strong? Is it now a worry because of what's happened with Eriksen? Has this come into Ten Hag's thoughts at all?
Ten Hag has always been like this.
Sorry, quick super chat from David Smart there as well. Said, watch Liverpool swoop in for Sabitzer like Gakpo. Yeah, imagine that plane taking a detour now to Liverpool Airport. No thanks, but I think Liverpool's business is done as well. But yeah, back to tomorrow.
Yeah.
How are you playing it, Faz? What would you do? How would you approach it?
As stubborn as Ten Hag is, if he starts any of the or main players anyways tomorrow, you know me, where I sit, I'm going to be shouting at Ten Hag and saying, what are you doing? Because no, stop this Bruno, Casemiro. Let them rest at least for one game. Forest at home with the three-goal lead, I don't see. You can't tell me that some of our youth players cannot see that game through. Just see that game through. That's the most important thing. Rashford cannot touch that pitch tomorrow. Not happening. Casemiro, Bruno, can't at all. Anthony, maybe, but I'd want to see Pelistri, I'd want to see Garnacho, maybe Kobe-Mino, I want to see, Lindelof, Maguire, even Varane, I don't want to risk him, I'll be very honest with you. Malacia, Luke Shaw, Bissaka, we've got enough players. Butland or Heaton maybe can see the game through as well. Yeah, just not starting, and we can see the game through. It's a three-goal lead. Let's just ease into our Wembley.
What about
trip.
a front three of Sancho, Martial and Garnacho?
Yeah, I'll take that.
You happy
I'll
with
be
that?
very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. And it gives me an opportunity. There's no pressure on Sancho and Martial as well. We've got enough goals to go see us through. There's no pressure. It's at home. That's another advantage as well. You've got Garnacho on the left, who's been having a great season.
Keep Varane out as well?
Yeah, keep Varane
Keep him
out.
out?
Yeah, keep him out. Rest him. We've got plenty big games to come as well. Rest him. Another
Good
player.
thing about Varane is it's like he's one of them players, even when he's had a bit of time off, he just seems to slot back in.
Yeah, he slots back in, no problem for him. And he's great with either Martinez or you put him with someone else. He's still fine. His partnership is no problem as well. So, yeah, keep him rested.
Yeah, that's it. Who plays in that number 10 tomorrow? If Bruno I think Bruno will play, because I think Bruno's just got it nailed in his contract. Play me as many minutes as possible, because he has got an exceptional injury record as well.
Yeah.
But if you weren't to play Bruno like you wanted, Faz, who is in that number 10?
I'll be honest with you. I have been thinking. Let's say Anthony plays tomorrow, right on the right hand side. Jadon Sancho in the 10 position.
No,
I don't know. Just try something.
I hate that idea.
I
mate.
know,
I mean,
but
you may have your own look on it and the benefits for it. And people have said in the chat before.
Experiment.
I just feel like that man is just born for the right wing.
Who are you going to play? Pelistri?
No, I think Bruno will play anyway.
Yeah. Who are you going to play? McTominay? No.
Well, that's where McTominay sort of was playing when he was in the youth team, sort of more of an attacking midfielder. But yeah, that's changed an awful lot. But I mean, Anthony played there at one point
Anthony
against
played
Reading.
Well. True.
He is persistent. I mean,
I could see Anthony in there, to be honest.
On the Sancho thing, when we're talking about that front three, then Faz, it's like, which side do you reckon he's going to try Sancho on? Because he's always played him on the left, inverted. He likes the inverted wingers. Can you see him being competition? Because let's be honest, he isn't going to displace Rashford. Not a chance. And Ten Hag likes Anthony. He spent a lot of time and he's worked with Sancho now. He's given him the time. It's like his project at the moment. He's treated him the way he should be treated. Do you feel like Ten Hag is going to get that? He's just going to get that feeling he needs to play Sancho, having given him this extra help. He's giving him the time. He sees a player in him. Can you see him dislodging Anthony if everyone's fit?
I think the only position that's available for Sancho to compete in is the right-hand side, because when Anthony comes off the pitch, it's Bruno's that's going on the right-hand side, and it shouldn't be.
No,
it shouldn't be. And Bruno Fernandes on the right, nobody wants to see that.
If you're going to move Bruno for someone else, he has to come off.
Yeah.
He needs to just come off the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop playing him just for the sake of him still being on the pitch.
Yeah.
If we're at a stage where we're having to change Bruno and put him on the right, we're either at a place where we've run out of players or the game, we're in sort of a desperate stage.
Yeah.
Bruno just either needs to be left off or we take off the guy playing on the right wing. I don't understand and replace it with another right winger, because we've got, if anything, an abundance of talent for the wings right now.
Yeah.
So why is Bruno going on the right?
But that's
we
what
haven't got another number 10.
I know that, but that's his guy, isn't it? Bruno is one of his main trusted players. So he plays him all the time and everywhere. He's got that free reign. But I think Sancho, his main aim would be to give some competition to Anthony.
Darren Mulaney, super chat. Iqbal, number 10.
I watch Iqbal a lot, right? And I watch him
You
when
feel he's better in 8? Oh.
He's way better in 8.
I think
miles better in 8. I was just going to say, the way this guy is able to hold off players and then, use his physicality to move the ball forward and also find a pass, from runners when I'm watching him, is astonishing. He makes under 21, under 23 football look absolutely easy. And I really do wonder why Ten Hag isn't bringing him in a little bit more. But hopefully he does. But yeah, in an 8, not in a 10.
Not in. I mean, if I was going to ask this question at the press conference if we had a chance. It's always been a worry of mine in terms of match day squads. Now we've got 5 substitutes. The benches are stacked. I worry it's like we've seen a few players go out on loan, which we spoke about before from the under-21s, Faz. But I worry that it's, in terms of the players progressing, the young players progressing, when they come into a match day squad, they obviously then cannot play in the under-21 game on the Friday night.
Of course.
And if you just sat on the bench and sat on the bench and sat on the bench and not playing and not getting any game time at all, that is a concern for me. And finding that balance, I think, is a problem. I'd have liked to see Iqbal go out on loan, personally.
Okay.
I think he will benefit a lot from going out on loan. But it looks like he's staying. Is that a concern for you, like players just coming in and filling the bench? Is it fair?
As a young player, you wanna be playing ideally first team minutes. Game time is important, but look now, Garnacho, he wouldn't be the level that he is if he was playing under 23 football, under 21 football. Pellistri as well, he's really good, shining through now. You're not going to see that if he was playing under 21 football. For Zidane Iqbal, I think the way he's playing right now, he needs to be getting featured, especially in games like tomorrow. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I think so.
Already, we're far into Carabao Cup, right? We're going to go to Wembley. FA Cup, we've got West Ham. I don't see any of the young players featuring much in that. But in terms of this season, it would have been ideal for Iqbal to go on a light 6-month loan and then come back. So I am a bit concerned as to that, why the gaffers kept him in. But it's his decision at the end of the day.
I think he has to play tomorrow. I do.
Because the under-21s don't play until later on in February 11th.
Yeah, there's a little break now.
Yeah,
there is.
They play
maybe Sancho as number 10, back up to Bruno. I don't know, Desmond, where everyone's getting this Sancho as number 10 idea. I just don't see it working. I don't think he's got that capability.
I think they mean more as to when he was inverting in, when he was in Dortmund, and from the right-hand side, he would come on the inside, similar to what you see Anthony doing, right? At times, he's playing that 10 role. And because you have a player like Sancho who's so good in tight spots, he's really good in tight spots. He's really good in finding acute passes. And you see how Wout Weghorst links up with Bruno at times, right? You see those one-touch passes.
It's intriguing to see that coming into it, Sancho and Weghorst.
Yeah, so those one-touch passes could lead to goals and assists and dangerous attacks. I think that's what people kind of go off. Sancho is very good holding the ball, to close whilst players are around him. He doesn't need to go with blistering speed on the wing. So maybe people are going, that's what I'm going off anyways, why he can play the 10 position.
Devontae Loney says, hey Adam, is Sancho ready to play in the first team? Did Ten Hag mention this? Yes, Ten Hag has come out and said Sancho is available. Super chat there from Eric Klassen says, I just came home from work. Could you please shortly sum up what happened today? That's perfect timing, that, mate, because we are just going to update everyone on what has happened. The day started with the news that Christian Eriksen is going to be out for around 3 months, back end of April. Big loss into Ten Hag's press conference, where it did look a little doom and gloom on the new player coming in on deadline day front. But after that press conference, news broke that Manchester United have approached Bayern Munich for the possible loan sale of Marcel Sabitzer, the midfielder, the Austrian midfielder from Bayern, who is probably third choice behind Goretzka and Kimmich at the moment. United are in advanced talks. In fact, he's on a plane right now from Munich to Manchester. We have had that confirmed. So this looks like Manchester United are going to make a last-ditch signing for Sabitzer. So anybody who needed updating on everything, it is all on the United Stand Twitter feed. We have links into the Telegraph, Fabrizio Romano, Sky Sports, and everyone on there from their tweets earlier on. everything is there, and all you need to know on what is going down will be updated on the United Stand Twitter feed. And Matt will be here, obviously, leading up to the end of deadline day at 11 o'clock as well, guys. Before we finish up the show, Faz, we need some predictions going forward.
Okay.
Obviously, tonight we've got the Southampton-Newcastle game. Is it going to be Newcastle in the final?
It's only one goal in between.
It
them.
is.
You don't know
They don't like to concede a lot, though, do they?
No, but you don't. It's the beauty of the cup runs, right? You don't know what can happen. I see Newcastle still going through to the final. Yeah, so I'm gonna say Newcastle win like 2-0 maybe.
And United's result tomorrow night.
Forest, I think
It's a
they'll
tough one to predict tomorrow because we don't know what team's going to come out, do we?
No, we don't. But then let's be honest, Forest are not going to be very confident coming to Old Trafford, are they? Not like they're going to be like,
No.
yeah, let's do a huge upset. So I think Man United will do a easy 2-0, depending on the squad that we put out. If we put out, I'm not saying a weak squad. I don't like to say a weak squad, but if we put out a squad that we rotate in, a rotational squad, we should be able to still dismantle them at home, considering they won't have any confidence. 2-0.
2-0, yep, I'd like that. I actually spoke about it in my preview to the Forest game, saying I think it all depends on Steve Cooper as well. Is it a damage limitation job for him? Will he risk his big players? Gibbs White went off injured in the last leg. Is he going to look at it that way and go, maybe I need to look at solidifying Forest in the Premier League?
Yeah,
we can't overturn. We can't score 4 goals away from home, let alone at the best defence in the Premier League right now at home in Manchester United. So.
Yep.
I think there is an element of this that it could be a damp squib tomorrow. I don't mind that in the semi-final.
Of course.
If we're walking
if you ask
through.
a Forest fan, they wouldn't want to risk their players as well. They would much rather stay up into the Premier League. Let's be honest, it's not like they're comfortably sitting in Premier League as well. They're still very close to relegation zone. So I think he might do that, but we'll see tomorrow.
That's it. And it is transfer deadline day, so I'm going to ask you, Faz, before we go, and everybody else, because that's it done for us today. Matt will be carrying on later. Best transfer window or best transfer window memory for you. What got you buzzing? What was the one that got you off your seat like, oh my God, I'm excited right now? Which window? What player was it? Think back. I know what mine is straight away.
I have one as well straight
Everyone
away.
else in the comments as well, get me in there your best transfer deadline day. Has to be deadline day, not the window.
It has to be deadline day.
Deadline day happenings. Could be any team, anything. What was it?
Yeah, you've brain fog.
Mine was, I'll go with mine first. Mine was Berbatov walking across the glass at Old Trafford with Sir Alex Ferguson. Remember, City had just got new owners that day. They ended up trying to hijack Manchester United's bid for Berbatov. Then went and got Rubinho.
Who ended up being an atrocious signing.
He was thinking he was signing for Manchester United.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That deadline day was just everything. That had everything you needed. Is there any that springs to mind for you?
No, I just thought transfer in general. I didn't think of
We'll go
deadline
with transfer
day.
in general then.
For me, transfer in general, it has to be Paul Pogba. When Paul Pogba was announced,
Pogback.
oh my God, and the weird one was Sanchez playing the piano. That one was a weird one.
Oh, let's not go there. That's a bad one for me.
But Pogba was one because obviously the whole world and the expectation that came with what he can give to the club and the heights that we can reach with him. Yeah, it was just, and it's upsetting really.
Some good ones here, some good mentions. Obviously, Cantona was, I remember Cantona signing. You might not.
No, I wasn't.
You was not old enough.
No, not old enough.
Rooney. That was a big one. Van Persie.
Rooney,
that
Van
got
Persie.
excitement levels going. I think that was when we was getting medicals done at the Bridgewater. Was it Bridgewater? That's what it was called, wasn't it? Hospital. And all the United fans were outside chanting Van Persie. That lives in the memory, that one. That one really does. But
I don't think Arsenal fans would want to remember that one.
No.
They've got Jorginho on their mind.
Well, that's it. That's hopefully for United. No dramas. The transfer window shut. Signed, sealed, delivered. Sabitzer coming to Manchester right now on a plane. Another player in that we need, obviously, going forward in all competitions. Every little helps. Martial and Sancho coming back. It's not too bad. It started off bad, but I think we're going to Excuse me. I think we're going to finish the show on a high, and I think we're going to finish the window on a high. So, guys, cheers for tuning in. There was well over 12,000 at one point there in the chat with us. Absolutely brilliant. Cheers for all your super chats, all your comments. Faz, cheers for coming on again.
Thank you for having me. It was always nice and pleasure.
Brilliant stuff. We move on to Nottingham Forest tomorrow. Obviously, do stay tuned today, though, because Mark will be back seeing us through the rest of deadline day. But from here in the studio, that is it for today. Have a good one, people, and fingers crossed we do get this deal over the line. Like, share and subscribe to the United Stands. We will see you soon.